The courtroom fell silent as Emma Carter, a 45-year-old single mother, clutched a tattered envelope. It contained the evidence that could have destroyed her only daughter, whom she had raised alone. 2 years ago, Emma faced a cancer diagnosis and Lily, her daughter, left her without a word. Now Lily is back, claiming her inheritance, thinking Emma is dead. But Emma is alive, fighting, and ready to expose a betrayal that will change everything. What secret does that envelope hide? Emma Carter's life unfolded like the pages of a well-loved novel. Simple, deliberate, and full of quiet beauty. At 45, she had carved out a cozy existence in Portland, Oregon, a city that mirrored her temperament with its rainy days and vibrant bursts of green. As a librarian at the Multnomah County Central Library, Emma spent her mornings cataloging books, helping students find obscure references and recommending novels to retirees who lingered at her desk. Her soft voice and warm smile made her a favorite among patrons, who often left with more than just a book, a sense of being seen, understood. Her days began early, with the hum of her coffee maker and the patter of rain against the windows of her Pearl District apartment. The place was small but brimming with character. Bookshelves lined every wall, spilling over with paperbacks and hardcovers, some dog-eared from years of rereading. A faded quilt draped over the couch, a gift from her mother long ago, and a cluster of framed photos on the mantel captured moments of joy, most of them featuring her daughter, Lily. At 24, Lily was Emma's world, the bright thread woven through every choice she'd made since she was 21 and found herself a single mother. Emma had raised Lily alone after her husband, David, walked out when Lily was 5. He'd left a note on the kitchen counter, something vague about needing space, and never looked back. Emma didn't chase him. Instead, she poured her energy into Lily, working double shifts at a bookstore before landing her library job, saving every penny to ensure Lily had dance lessons, art supplies, whatever sparked her creativity. By the time Lily graduated high school, Emma had paid off their modest apartment and set aside a college fund. Lily, with her quick laugh and knack for sketching, was studying graphic design at Portland State, living at home to save money. Their evenings were a ritual, cooking pasta together, debating which movie to watch, or sketching side by side at the kitchen table. Emma felt lucky, like she'd built something solid, something that could weather any storm. The library was Emma's sanctuary, too. She loved its hushed aisles, the scent of old paper, the way light filtered through the tall windows on clear days. Her colleagues, a mix of quirky academics and bookish introverts, respected her quiet competence. She'd earned a reputation for finding answers, whether it was tracking down a rare volume or helping a patron navigate a tricky database. Outside work, Emma kept her circle small. She had a few friends, Tom, a lawyer who'd known her since college, and Sarah, a nurse who lived downstairs, but Lily was her anchor. They'd weathered tough years together, from Lily's rebellious teen phase to Emma's long hours, and emerged closer for it. Emma often thought of their bond as a book she'd never tire of reading, each chapter better than the last. Yet beneath this calm surface, Emma carried a private weight. She'd sacrificed much for Lily. No vacations, no new clothes, no relationships beyond fleeting dates that never went anywhere. She told herself it was worth it. That Lily's smile was payment enough. Still, there were moments, late at night, when she wondered what her life might have been if she'd dared to write a few chapters for herself. Those thoughts never lingered long. Lily needed her, and that was enough. Emma's health had always been steady, a point of pride for someone who rarely took a sick day. She walked to work, ate her vegetables, and got yearly checkups like clockwork. So when she scheduled a routine colonoscopy at her doctor's urging, just to be safe, he'd said she didn't think twice. It was a Wednesday, gray and damp, the kind of day Portland wore like a badge. She sat in the waiting room, flipping through a worn copy of Pride and Prejudice, expecting nothing more than a clean bill of health and maybe a coffee afterward. The procedure was quick, the staff kind. She went home, made dinner with Lily, and forgot about it. A week later, her phone rang while she was shelving books. It was her doctor, his voice tighter than usual. "Emma, can you come in today?" Her stomach twisted, but she brushed it off, probably a clerical error, a follow-up test. She told Lily she'd be late, drove to the clinic, and sat across from Dr. Patel, whose gentle eyes didn't match the words he spoke. "We found something. It's colorectal cancer. Stage 1, very early. We're lucky we caught it now." The room seemed to shrink, the air too thin. Cancer. The word felt foreign, like it belonged to someone else. Dr. Patel kept talking. Surgery, chemotherapy, excellent prognosis, but Emma's mind snagged on Lily. How would she tell her? What would this mean for them? She drove home in a daze, the city's lights blurring through her windshield. Lily was sprawled on the couch, sketching, when Emma walked in. "Hey, you're late," Lily said, grinning. Then she saw Emma's face. "Sweetheart, we need to talk," Emma said, her voice cracking. She sat beside Lily, took her hand, and told her everything. Lily's eyes widened, then filled with tears. They held each other, crying, promising to face it together. "I'm here, Mom," Lily whispered. "I'm not going anywhere." Emma clung to those words, believing they were the start of a new chapter, one they'd write side by side, no matter how hard it got. The weeks following Emma Carter's cancer diagnosis blurred into a haze of hospital visits and whispered fears. Portland's relentless drizzle seemed to mirror her mood, gray, heavy, unyielding. At 45, Emma had always been the steady one, the librarian who could find any answer, the mother who held everything together for her daughter, Lily. But now, with a stage 1 colorectal cancer diagnosis, she felt like a book with pages torn out, unsure how the story would end. Still, Dr. Patel's optimism kept her grounded. Surgery was scheduled, chemotherapy would follow, and her chances were strong. Emma clung to that, and to Lily's promise to stay by her side. At first, Lily was everything Emma needed. The 24-year-old set aside her graphic design projects, driving Emma to appointments at Oregon Health and Science University. They'd sit in the waiting room, Lily sketching in her notebook while Emma tried to focus on magazines. "We've got this, Mom," Lily would say, squeezing her hand. At home, their Pearl District apartment remained a haven. Lily cooked, burning the pasta only once, while Emma rested, her energy sapped by pre-surgery tests. They talked about small things. Lily's dream of designing album covers, Emma's favorite books, plans for a summer road trip once this was over. Emma treasured these moments, believing they were building something unbreakable. Surgery came and went, a success by all accounts. The tumor was removed, and the cancer hadn't spread. Emma felt a flicker of hope, though the road ahead, 6 months of chemotherapy, loomed large. She prepared for it methodically, as she would a library project. She informed her boss at the Multnomah County Library, who promised her job would wait. Financially, she was secure. Her apartment was paid off, her savings robust from years of frugality, and she'd inherited a small stock portfolio from her parents. "You focus on getting better," her colleague Sarah told her. Emma nodded, grateful, but her thoughts were on Lily. She didn't want her daughter's life to stall because of this. Chemotherapy began, and with it the real fight. The first session left Emma weak, her body rebelling against the drugs. She'd shuffle from bed to couch, nausea her constant companion. Lily was there, bringing water, adjusting pillows, her presence a lifeline. But as weeks turned to months, Emma noticed a shift. Lily grew quieter, her smiles forced. She'd linger by the door, checking her phone, answering Emma's questions with one-word replies. "You okay, sweetheart?" Emma would ask. "Fine," Lily muttered, avoiding her eyes. Emma chalked it up to stress. Lily was young, carrying a heavy load. She resolved to ease the burden. Hiring a nurse seemed like the answer. Sarah, the nurse who lived downstairs, recommended Claire, a kind-eyed professional experience with cancer patients. Claire was a godsend, managing Emma's medications and helping with daily tasks. Emma hoped this would free Lily to focus on her studies, maybe even reconnect with friends. "You don't have to do everything," Emma told her daughter one evening, as Claire tidied the kitchen. Lily nodded, but her expression was unreadable. Emma ignored the unease creeping in her chest. She trusted Lily. They'd get through this. Then came the fracture. It started small, a missed appointment. Lily forgot to drive Emma to chemo, leaving her scrambling for a cab. "I got caught up," Lily said, not meeting Emma's gaze. Days later, Emma overheard Lily on the phone, laughing, making plans to meet friends while Emma rested. The sting was sharp, but Emma swallowed it. She didn't want to guilt Lily into staying home. Yet the distance grew. Lily stopped joining her for dinner, claiming she'd eaten out. She'd snap when Emma asked about her day, her tone cutting in a way Emma hadn't heard before. The breaking point came 4 months into treatment. Emma, weakened from a rough chemo session, needed help getting to the bathroom. Claire was off duty, So Emma called for Lily, who was in her room, music blaring. No answer. Emma tried again, her voice trembling. Finally, Lily appeared, irritation etched on her face. "What now?" she said, arms crossed. Emma flinched, the words hitting harder than her fatigue. "I just need a hand," she said softly. Lily sighed, helping her with a brusqueness that felt like a slap. That night, Emma tried to talk. She found Lily in the living room, scrolling on her phone. "Sweetheart, are we okay?" she asked, her voice fragile. Lily's eyes flashed. "Are we okay? I'm stuck here playing nurse while you—" She stopped, but the unspoken words hung heavy. Emma's heart sank. "I hired Claire to help," she said. "I don't want you to feel trapped." Lily laughed, a cold, bitter sound. "Claire? She's useless. And you're not exactly fun to be around, Mom." The room spun. Emma gripped the couch, her daughter's words slicing deeper than any needle. "Lily, I'm trying to fight this," she whispered. Lily stood, grabbing her jacket. "Maybe I need a break from fighting your battles." Before Emma could respond, Lily stormed out, slamming the door. The apartment fell silent, save for the hum of the fridge. Emma sat, stunned, tears pooling in her eyes. She waited for Lily to come back, to apologize, to explain. Hours passed, then days. A week later, a note appeared under the door. "I can't do this. Don't look for me." Emma read it again and again, each word a fresh wound. Lily was gone. The daughter she'd raised, loved, sacrificed for had walked away when she needed her most. Neighbors whispered they'd seen Lily with friends, carefree, as if Emma didn't exist. Alone, Emma faced her next chemo session, Claire's gentle presence her only comfort. The cancer was still there, but the betrayal cut deeper, threatening to unravel the strength she'd fought so hard to hold on to. Emma Carter's world, once a tapestry of books and laughter, had unraveled into a stark, lonely thread. At 45, battling colorectal cancer in Portland, Oregon, she'd faced surgery and chemotherapy with a stubborn resolve, buoyed by the promise of her daughter Lily's support. But now, 4 months into treatment, Lily was gone. The 24-year-old had walked out after a heated argument, leaving a note that burned in Emma's mind. "I can't do this. Don't look for me." The words echoed in the silence of their Pearl District apartment, a place that no longer felt like home. The days after Lily's departure were a blur of pain and disbelief. Emma, weakened by chemo, shuffled between bed and couch, her body a battleground of nausea and fatigue. Claire, the nurse she'd hired to ease Lily's burden, became her lifeline. Claire's steady hands adjusted 4 drips and brought broth when Emma could barely eat, but her kindness couldn't fill the void Lily left. Emma stared at the framed photos on the mantel, Lily at her high school graduation, their camping trip to Mount Hood, and felt like a failure. Had she asked too much? Had she missed some sign that Lily was slipping away? The library, once Emma's sanctuary, was a distant memory. She'd taken leave from her job at Multnomah County Central, her boss assuring her she could return when ready. But ready felt like a foreign concept. Her savings and stock portfolio kept her afloat. No mortgage, no debts, but money couldn't buy back her daughter's love. Emma's chemo sessions at Oregon Health and Science University continued, each one a grueling reminder of her solitude. She'd sit in the sterile infusion room, watching other patients with spouses or kids by their side, and wonder where she'd gone wrong. Whispers from neighbors cut deeper than the needles. Mrs. Larson, the retiree downstairs, mentioned seeing Lily at a downtown cafe, laughing with friends, her sketchbook nowhere in sight. "She looked fine," Mrs. Larson said, hesitating. Emma nodded, forcing a smile, but the news twisted like a knife. Fine. While Emma fought for her life, Lily was fine. Another neighbor, a chatty barista named Jake, let slip that Lily had been asking about the apartment's value, joking about inheriting soon. Emma brushed it off as gossip, but doubt took root. Was Lily waiting for her to die? The thought was a poison, seeping into Emma's resolve. She'd always seen Lily as her purpose. Every sacrifice, every late shift, every dream deferred had been for her daughter. Now that purpose was gone. Emma stopped calling Lily's phone after the 10th unanswered voicemail. She stopped checking the door for footsteps. The apartment, once alive with their shared rituals, felt like a museum of a life she no longer recognized. Her chemo side effects worsened, hair thinning, weight dropping, joints aching like they'd never heal. Claire urged her to eat, to walk, to fight, but Emma's spirit was crumbling faster than her body. One evening, As rain lashed the windows, Emma sat with a cup of tea she couldn't taste. Claire had gone home, leaving her alone with her thoughts. She opened her laptop, hoping to distract herself, and saw an email from the library, a routine update about her benefits. But a second email, from an unknown sender, caught her eye. The subject, about Lily. Heart pounding, Emma clicked. It was from a friend of Lily's, someone named Mia, who'd seen Emma's name on a hospital visitor list. The message was brief but shattering. I don't know if you know, but Lily's telling people you're not going to make it. She's been asking about your will. I thought you should know. Emma's breath caught. She reread the email, each word a fresh betrayal. Lily wasn't just gone. She was erasing Emma, reducing her to a payout. The apartment, the stocks, the life Emma had built. They weren't enough for Lily to stay, but enough for her to scheme. Emma closed the laptop, tears streaming down her face. She wanted to scream, to confront Lily, but she was too weak, too broken. The cancer was a fight she could face with doctors and drugs, but this was a wound no medicine could touch. Her lowest moment came a week later. Chemo had left her bedridden, fever spiking, her body rebelling. Claire called an ambulance, and Emma woke in a hospital room, monitors beeping. Dr. Patel visited his face grave. Your numbers aren't great, he said. Stress is taking a toll. We need you to keep fighting, Emma. She nodded, but inside, she was slipping. What was the point? Lily didn't care. No one did. She thought of her parents, long gone, and wished she could hear their voices again. For the first time, Emma wondered if letting go would be easier than holding on. Claire refused to let her sink. The nurse stayed past her shift, reading aloud from The Secret Garden, a book Emma loved as a child. You're stronger than you think, Claire said, her voice firm. This isn't the end of your story. Emma wanted to believe her, but the weight of Lily's betrayal pressed down, heavier than the cancer itself. She'd lost her daughter, her purpose, her fight. All she had left was a fragile thread of hope, fraying with every passing day, and a gnawing fear that she'd never understand why Lily had turned her back when she needed her most. Emma Carter's life had become a shadow of itself, hollowed out by cancer and betrayal. At 45, she was fighting for survival in Portland, Oregon, her body battered by chemotherapy, her spirit crushed by her daughter Lily's abandonment. The 24-year-old had vanished months ago, leaving a note that severed their bond. I can't do this. Don't look for me. Worse, Emma had learned from a friend's email that Lily was spreading lies, claiming Emma was dying and angling for her inheritance. The apartment in the Pearl District, once a haven of shared laughter, now felt like a prison of memories. Emma, weakened and alone, teetered on the edge of giving up, her purpose eroded by the daughter she'd lived for. Claire, the nurse who'd become Emma's anchor, refused to let her fade. Her steady presence, bringing meals, reading aloud, urging Emma to fight, kept a faint pulse of hope alive. Yet, the hospital stays grew frequent, each chemo session a slog through nausea and despair. Dr. Patel warned that stress was slowing her recovery, but how could Emma escape it? Lily's betrayal replayed in her mind, a wound that wouldn't heal. Her savings and stock portfolio kept her afloat. No bills loomed, but money couldn't mend a broken heart. She'd stopped checking her phone for Lily's calls, stopped hoping for footsteps at the door. The world beyond her bed felt unreachable. Then, like a crack of light through a storm, came an unexpected visitor. Tom Wilson, a college friend turned lawyer, knocked on her apartment door one rainy afternoon. Emma hadn't seen him in months, too consumed by illness to keep up with friends. Tom's familiar grin faltered when he saw her, thinner, paler, a ghost of the vibrant librarian he knew. Emma, why didn't you tell me? He said, settling on the couch. She shrugged, too tired for explanations, but Tom's presence stirred something. He'd always been steady, the one who'd helped her navigate her divorce years ago. Over coffee, she poured out the story. Lily's departure, the rumors, the email from Mia exposing Lily's schemes. Tom listened, his jaw tightening. She's been asking about your will, he repeated, leaning forward. Emma, that's not just cold, it's dangerous. He explained that Lily's actions could cross legal lines, especially if she was misrepresenting Emma's health to gain control of her assets. Emma's stomach churned. She'd clung to the hope that Lily's absence was a phase, a young woman's fear of illness. But Tom's words painted a darker picture. I've got a contact at the courthouse, he said. Let me dig into this. No promises, but we'll see what's what. Emma hesitated. Confronting Lily felt like betraying her, despite everything. Yet the alternative, letting her daughter erase her while she fought to live, was unbearable. She nodded, handing Tom an email from Mia. "Just don't hurt her," she whispered. Tom's eyes softened. "This isn't about hurting anyone. It's about protecting you." He left with a promise to follow up, and for the first time in weeks, Emma felt a spark of agency, a sense that she wasn't entirely powerless. Tom worked fast. A week later, he called with news that hit like a thunderbolt. His contact had traced Lily's activities through public records and social media. She'd approached a real estate agent, claiming Emma was terminal and she'd soon inherit the apartment. Worse, Lily had tried to file a power of attorney document, alleging Emma was mentally unfit, a move that could have given her control of Emma's finances. The attempt had failed. The notary flagged it as suspicious, lacking Emma's signature. But the intent was clear. Lily was laying groundwork to profit from her mother's illness. Emma sat stunned, the phone trembling in her hand. "How could she?" she whispered. Tom's voice was gentle but firm. "She's crossed the line, Emma. This isn't just family drama. It's fraud. We can build a case, but it's your call." Evidence was piling up. Mia's email, the real estate agent's testimony, screenshots of Lily's messages boasting about coming into money soon. Tom had even found a voicemail Lily left with the agent, her voice casual, cold. "Mom won't be around much longer, so let's get this moving." The betrayal cut deeper than Emma thought possible. She'd sacrificed everything for Lily, her youth, her dreams, her chance at love, only to be reduced to a stepping stone. Yet, amid the pain, a fire kindled. She wasn't dead. She wasn't helpless. With Claire's encouragement and Tom's expertise, Emma saw a path forward. Not revenge, but justice. She agreed to let Tom gather more proof, quietly, legally. "No confrontation yet," she told him. "I need to be sure." Tom nodded. "We'll do this right." Claire noticed the change. "You're fighting again," she said one evening, as Emma managed a short walk around the apartment. Emma smiled faintly. "Maybe." She began journaling, documenting her memories of Lily's actions, her own health struggles, anything that might help Tom's case. It was grueling, reliving the hurt, but it gave her purpose. She contacted her bank, securing her accounts, and updated her will with Tom's help, naming a local literacy charity as her beneficiary. "Lily doesn't get to decide my legacy," she told him, her voice steady for the first time in months. The spark grew into a flame. Emma's next chemo session felt less like defeat, more like a step toward reclaiming her life. She ate more, walked farther, laughed at Claire's stories. Tom's updates fueled her resolve. Another witness, a paper trail, a chance to hold Lily accountable without sinking to her level. Emma didn't want her daughter in jail. She wanted truth, consequences, a line drawn in the sand. As Portland's rain gave way to tentative spring sun, Emma felt something she hadn't in months. Hope. She wasn't just surviving. She was ready to fight for herself, her future, and the justice she deserved. 2 years had passed since Emma Carter stood at the edge of surrender, her body racked by cancer, her heart shattered by her daughter Lily's betrayal. At 47, she was no longer the frail librarian crumbling under chemotherapy in Portland, Oregon. She'd fought through colorectal cancer and won, her body healing as she rebuilt her spirit. But the scars of Lily's actions, abandoning her, spreading lies about her imminent death, and scheming to seize her assets, ran deep. With the help of her nurse Claire and her friend Tom, a lawyer, Emma had uncovered Lily's attempted fraud. Falsified documents, real estate inquiries, voicemails plotting to profit from her illness. Now, in a small Portland courtroom, Emma held the proof that could rewrite their story's ending. A worn envelope containing evidence of Lily's deceit. The courtroom was modest, its wooden benches half filled with strangers and a few familiar faces. Claire sat in the front row, her steady gaze a silent anchor. Tom stood beside Emma, his briefcase open, papers neatly stacked. Across the room, Lily sat with a public defender, her face a mix of defiance and unease. At 26, she looked older, her once vibrant energy dulled by the weight of her choices. Emma avoided her eyes, focusing on the judge, a stern woman whose presence commanded respect. This wasn't about vengeance. It was about truth, about reclaiming the life Lily had tried to steal. The hearing began with Tom's opening statement, his voice clear and measured. He outlined Lily's actions, The power of attorney attempt, the real estate agent's testimony, the voicemails and messages claiming Emma was terminal. Ms. Carter was fighting for her life, Tom said, while her daughter sought to profit from her suffering. Emma's chest tightened as he presented the evidence. Mia's email, bank records, a notary's affidavit rejecting Lily's forged document. Each piece was a brick in the wall of truth, solid and undeniable. Lily's lawyer argued she'd acted out of fear, not malice, but the judge's expression remained unmoved. When Emma took the stand, her voice trembled but held. She spoke of raising Lily alone, sacrificing dreams to give her a home, a future. She described the cancer diagnosis, Lily's initial support, then her sudden departure. "I thought I'd failed her," Emma said, eyes on the judge. "But I didn't fail. She chose to lie, to betray me when I needed her most." She held up the envelope, handing it to Tom, who submitted its contents. Screenshots, recordings, proof Lily had planned to sell the Pearl District apartment Emma had worked years to own. The courtroom was silent, the weight of her words settling like dust. Lily's turn came. She stood, her voice shaky, claiming she was scared, overwhelmed, that she never meant harm. "I thought she was dying," Lily said, tears streaming. "I just wanted to secure my future." Emma's heart ached, not with anger but pity. Lily's words rang hollow, a performance undone by the evidence. The judge called a recess, and Emma stepped outside, breathing in the crisp Portland air. Claire joined her, squeezing her hand. "You did the right thing," she said. Emma nodded, but the victory felt bittersweet. She'd wanted justice, not this hollow ache for the daughter she'd lost. The judge's ruling came swiftly. Lily was found guilty of attempted fraud and defamation. The sentence was light: 6 months of community service, a fine, and a restraining order barring contact with Emma unless initiated by her. The apartment, already sold by Emma to fund her recovery, was out of reach. Lily would inherit nothing. The judge's words were firm. "Actions have consequences, Ms. Carter. Your mother deserved better." Lily bowed her head, silent as the gavel fell. Emma felt no triumph, only release, like a book closing on a painful chapter. After the hearing, Emma walked to a nearby cafe with Claire and Tom. Over coffee, Tom grinned. "You're free now, Emma. What's next?" She smiled, a real one, the first in years. The cancer was gone. Her last scan, weeks ago, had confirmed remission. She'd sold her apartment, banking the proceeds, and moved to a small rental in Seattle, a city that felt like a fresh page. The money, combined with her savings, gave her options. She'd started a bookshop in Capitol Hill, a cozy space filled with novels and community events. It wasn't grand, but it was hers, a dream she'd shelved for Lily, now alive in shelves of stories. Seattle had become her sanctuary. She walked its hilly streets, joined a book club, even tried online dating, laughing at the awkwardness of it all. Claire visited often, their friendship a steady warmth. Tom sent updates from Portland, but Emma rarely looked back. She'd written Lily a letter after the trial, leaving it with Tom to deliver if Lily ever asked. It wasn't an olive branch, but a farewell. "I forgive you, but I'm done waiting for you to change." Lily hadn't responded, and Emma was okay with that. She'd spent too long defining herself as Lily's mother, forgetting she was also Emma, reader, dreamer, survivor. One evening, in her bookshop, Emma hosted a poetry reading. Locals filled the chairs, their faces lit by string lights. As a young poet read lines about resilience, Emma stood at the back, her heart full. She thought of the envelope, now tucked in a drawer, its contents no longer a burden. She'd faced cancer, betrayal, and a courtroom, emerging not broken, but whole. Lily's punishment wasn't jail or ruin. It was living with her choices, while Emma lived for herself at last. Outside, Seattle's skyline glowed against the dusk. Emma locked the shop, her steps light. Justice hadn't erased the past, but it had freed her future. She was writing a new story, one where she was the hero, not the sacrifice. And for the first time, she couldn't wait to see how it ended.